California Attorney General Rob Bonta is leading 12 other states in a lawsuit against TikTok.
The states claim that the company is exploiting young users and deceiving the public about the social media platform's dangers. Attorney General Bonta joins us this morning to discuss why he believes TikTok is violating consumer protection laws. And thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate that. You've released the findings of the investigation against the company. I just want to read some of what it found. It showed that TikTok's own records show an addictive effect on young users that have various negative health impacts, including disrupted sleep, depression, increased loneliness. You also say that the design's features prey on users' social vulnerabilities, fear of missing out, need for validation, lack of ability to self-regulate. These are really big accusations about this platform that so many kids use. Can you talk about how you were able to come to those findings?
Yeah, all those allegations are completely supported by the evidence. We conducted a 2.5-year investigation into TikTok where we subpoenaed hundreds of thousands and hundreds of thousands of documents and learned about what TikTok knew when they knew it and what they did having known it. We learned about their own internal studies where they looked at the impacts of their own features like beauty filters and autoplay and infinite scroll and their personalized algorithmic feed. And they saw all of the harm that was being visited on young people, the anxiety, depression, self-harm, suicidal ideation, harming of self-esteem, unhealthy social comparison. The list goes on and on. They had decisions they could have made where they limited or prevented use of certain of those features that cause harm, but they did them anyway. Why? Because they are in endless pursuit of profit. And they're already a multi-billion-dollar company. They see children, this is their own words, as a golden audience. They targeted them, manipulated and exploited their psychological vulnerabilities to promote addictive and compulsive and excessive use by children on their platform. And they have been wildly successful at addicting a whole generation of young people. They're harming them, they know it, they're lying about it, and they're putting forth sham, empty gesture safety features to make people believe that they're actually doing something to make children safe when they're really not. So this is a sophisticated multi-billion-dollar company that knows exactly what it's doing. It's hurting America's children, and it needs to stop. That's why we've sued them and are holding them accountable.
And you're mentioning that TikTok, of course, is saying that they put safety protections in place. Why do you feel like what they've done is not enough?
Because it's not enough, and they don't even work. They don't do these so-called safety features, don't do what they say. What do I mean? They have a feature, a safety, so-called safety feature that I like to talk about and bandy about and say, we are limiting the duration of use for young people to 60 minutes. Well, here's how that works. A young person, a child, 18, is given it sets their own password. And after 60 minutes of use, they're asked to put in their password that they created if they want to keep using the platform. So what do? They put in their password and they keep using the platform far beyond 60 minutes. They have another so-called safety feature called the refresh button or the fresh start, where if you have a personalized algorithmic feed that's sending you into rabbit holes that you don't want to be in, you want to get out, you want to start over, you want to refresh. So you press this refresh button and then you start using it. After a certain amount of usage, the feed that you get starts sending you the videos that you were receiving before the refresh button, as if you never pressed the refresh button. So these are really empty gestures. TikTok is more concerned about the perception that they're doing something to keep children safe than actually doing something to keep children safe. And for parents like me, I have 3 kids, teenagers and one in her early 20s, they use TikTok, and I am not alone. 63% of teens 13 to 17 in America use TikTok. 17% are on it all the time. And it is hurting our kids. And it's hard to see this as a dad, certainly as California's Attorney General. That's why we're acting, and we're taking TikTok to court to stop these very harmful practices practices to a whole generation of children.
We are running out of time, but while we have you, Attorney General, I do have to ask you, you just said you're a father, I'm a step parent, I see this happen just like you do, but is there some responsibility on the parents, not only in their behavior of how they use the app, because there are 16 million users here in the state of California, they're not all teenagers. What responsibility is there for parents in this and not just on the company itself?
I mean, I'll just quickly say that this is about the company's deliberate, intentional exploitation, manipulation of young people based on their psychological vulnerabilities and visiting harm on them knowingly and lying about it to the rest of the world. You might say the same thing about tobacco companies or opioids companies, that they were visiting addictive products on people, including young people, and why didn't the parents prevent it? These companies need to be held responsible for what they're doing. That said, there is always something parents can do. One is know the truth. Know that TikTok's platform is addictive. It is harming your kid by design. They want the usage to be addictive and compulsive and excessive. Also know that the safety features, the so-called safety features, are not safety features at all and are not protecting your child. Know that the U.S. Surgeon General has said that usage over 3 hours per day doubles the risk of mental health challenges and issues for our young people. So parents can help limit use, limit frequency of use, limit time of use. For example, when children should be sleeping or learning or participating in other activities, you can keep them off the very harmful beauty filter. So there's always a role for parents, but that is no excuse for the knowing, intentional lying, deception, and addictive features and design that TikTok has promoted and visited on our children, harming a whole generation.
All right, a very important conversation right now. Attorney General Rob Bonta, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.